Hello friends and neighbors. It's been a while. I recorded this once already, and I didn't like it, so I'm doing it again. Now, astute viewers might note that I did not even make a token attempt to do any part of VEDS this year, Vlog Every Day in September. I didn't even say, hey, I'm gonna upload some videos sometimes. I just completely didn't do it at all. And that was an intentional choice because I did have some other things planned for the future, and I still do have some things planned for the future, and I decided rather than go through the stress of uploading a video every single day, I would just focus my attention on those. I was supposed to do a Q&A for the last VEDS that I did 2 years ago, and that never happened, and it's probably not going to happen, so sorry to those of you who submitted questions to that, but I imagine there'll be another Q&A at some point. And for this video, I am at least going to answer some questions, even ones that maybe specific people didn't ask, but I am going to at least give you some indication of what I've been doing. And we're going to do this Christmas Carol / Next Generation All Good Things style and look at past, present, and future. So let's start by looking at the past. What have I been up to, these past pandemic-ridden months? And there might be some of you who are wondering, hey, your country's basically been on lockdown for a while, so why haven't you made any new videos? First of all, to those people, I'm fine, thanks for asking. But I almost certainly would have made some more videos if, in fact, I was in a lockdown, which I wasn't because I work at a grocery store. I work in the produce section of a grocery store, and therefore I am an essential worker. So in fact, in the early days of the pandemic, I was actually working more than usual, and since then, it's basically gone back to my regular work schedule, and that really hasn't changed too much. Which isn't to say that the pandemic hasn't affected me and the things that I would have been doing over the spring and summer. In fact, in January and February, I was rehearsing to be in a production of Oliver. I had the role of Dr. Grimwig, I think his name was. I can't even remember, it's been that long. But he's the doctor who examines Oliver in Act 2, and it was a small speaking part, but I was looking forward to being a part of it. It's not my favorite musical in the world, but I was enjoying the process, and I was looking forward to being able to perform it. But then, just before Tech Week, everything shut down, and they were forced to first postpone and then eventually cancel the production, which was very disappointing. And obviously there have been other things that we have had to forego over the past month, but that's the way it goes, and we're still chugging along, and we're still trying to find ways in which to live as normal a life as possible, which then brings me to the next part of the video where I talk about the present, what's going on right now. Well, given that this is a very stressful situation, I have, of course, been trying to monitor my mental and emotional health. I mentioned in a video last year sometime that I have been suffering from anxiety and depression, something which the pandemic situation, as well as other situations in this country, have not helped in the least. But I've been trying some new therapy, and I've gotten on some new medication, and that has helped tremendously. Sometime early in the summer, I found that I had exceeded 200 pounds, which is about the heaviest that I have ever been, and is not healthy for a guy my size. And when I found out that heavier, overweight people tend to be more susceptible to the symptoms of COVID, I decided I should probably do something about that. So I started intermittent fasting, I started counting calories again, and I am now in the process of training for another marathon. It's probably going to be a virtual marathon, but I am in the midst of marathon training, and I'm doing some other exercises every day, and it has helped. I've dropped about 30 pounds since I started doing this, and I'm feeling a lot better about that. I've also been reading more, and therefore I've got a lot of reviews of books that I've been reading recently in the pipeline, and hopefully you will be able to see those relatively soon. I'm not going to make any promises as to when, but I am going to try to get those out there so that I can share some of the wonderful books that I've been reading. And yes, I have been putting some work into video making, which brings us to the last part of the video, the future. So one of the things that I have been doing recently in preparation for some of the videos that I am planning on making is that I've been going back and I have been looking at some of the stories, whether they be books or movies or TV shows or whatever, looking at some of the stories that have in some way inspired me and influenced my own creative and writing style over the years. Some of you might remember that I am in the process of trying to get a book published. I'm still in that process. I've been at it for a couple of years now, and I might actually have an agent who's interested. I was able to pitch my book idea to an agent at a virtual writing conference in May, and the agent sounded interested, and so I'm continuing to work on the revision, and I will hopefully be submitting that to this agent relatively soon. But in trying to develop my own writing style and writing process and the way that I tell stories, I do feel that it's important to go back and look at those stories that really do influence the way that I tell stories myself. If you follow my Tumblr page, you know that I did something like this about 3 years ago during NaNoWriMo, where I spent every day just talking a little bit about one of my major influences from the past. And this is basically going to be the same thing, but a little bit more involved, a little bit more developed in video form, and some of the stories have changed a little bit. So this is going to be an ongoing series for the next few videos, which I'm calling Why I Write. It's basically going to be my regular reviews. It's going to be books versus movies, it's going to be favorite books reviews, it's going to be a few other just reviews here and there, but all of them are going to be focused around reasons why I write. Why does this particular story influence me in this particular way? Really, it's what this channel is about altogether. I mean, my first reviewing series was favorite books, and this is just kind of an extension of that. Everything that I've reviewed on this channel has influenced me in some way, even if it's in a negative way or in a way that I decided, hey, I don't want to write like this. But now I'm just being a little bit more intentional about it, and I invite you to watch as those videos come out. There's not any kind of timetable, there's not any kind of gonna do a video every week or anything like that. It's just gonna be as I finish the videos, I will upload them, and like many of my other series, this one might extend out for years. And with that, I'll just say that I hope that everyone is doing well, especially everyone who lives in the United States who is being affected by this pandemic, who has family members who have contracted COVID, or if you have contracted COVID, or anything along those lines. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you are continuing to just chug on as best you can. And I would also encourage everyone to vote if you are eligible in the United States. If you can vote early, do so. I just did that today. Please vote. Please don't stay home. If you can vote, do vote. If you can vote early, vote early. If not, do everything you can to make sure that your vote is heard. It's really the very least that we can do. And with that, I hope you all are well. I hope to see you soon. Take care.